What is going on, everybody? GoofyRhexxi here, and hope everybody is doing well. And in today's video, yes, patch 5.7 went live yesterday, and as a tradition on this channel, I usually go through the best wins of patch 5.7, but we're going to switch it up a little bit today. And what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the best and the worst from patch 5.7. There's some pretty interesting and funny things that we're going to have a lot of fun with here in this video today, but some really good stuff overall. Wolverine, Deathpool, we're going to talk about that. There's the Experiment X event. Oh boy, which a little bit of a struggle bugger where that is concerned, but so much more, guys, that we're going to talk about here in this video, the best and the worst of patch 5.7. But before we get into it, here's a quick word from my sponsor. All right, guys, today's video is sponsored by Worldwide Nutrition. So I know sometimes life can be tough, right? And we could all use some help getting over those speed bumps, as we want to call them. If you know me, some of those speed bumps in my life are my kids. I love them. I do. I love my kids. But when you have 3 kids under the age of 6, things can get a little bit rough, right? But nobody understands that better than the team over at Worldwide Nutrition. Since 2010, Worldwide Nutrition has been crafting and selling the best products that give the best value to help you achieve your health and your fitness goals. And for me, like I said, whenever I'm going on stream, whenever I'm going on Twitch, if I'm stream Marvel Strike Force, Future Revolution, whatever it is, I always make sure that I have some energy here. And that's the way. It's a natural organic drink that helps me to be able to get through my streams and keep my energy up here. Now, Energy was inspired by nature's most energetic worker, the honeybee. Made from all natural and organic ingredients, energy, I should say, is a healthy alternative to those other energy drinks loaded up with sugar. We know what those are, right? And ingredients you can't pronounce. Energy uses organic and natural honey to give it its unique sweet and delicious taste, and it packs about 100 milligrams of caffeine in every single can, and that's more than a full cup of coffee. So it increases your energy, increases your alertness with B vitamins and organic ginseng to keep you all going all day with none of those jittery side effects. And that's kind of one of the things that I like about Energy, because I personally just don't like the little like crappy feel that you get after you drink some of those other energy drinks. It doesn't bring you up and then crash you back down, which is one of the things that I really like about Energy here. So go to Worldwide Nutrition Guide if you want to be able to get access to this here. And if you can see yourself loading your card up with some other amazing quality products that they have as well. So I also take their vitamins from Worldwide Nutrition and a few other things as well. Now at the checkout, use code GoofyRhexxi so that you can get 15% off of your entire order. And there's also free shipping on all of your orders over $100 as well. So I'm going to be leaving that link down in the description below, guys. So take a look at Energy, take a look at Worldwide Nutrition here in Energy, and make sure that you're getting some good deals here. And of course, that you're going from muffin top to stud muffin. All right, welcome back, guys. And of course, if it's your first time coming to the channel here, we'd like to see some more MSF content, then make sure that you hit that subscribe button, also the notification bell, so that you know when my videos do go live. There's a few links that are down below too, guys, where you can follow me on Twitch, Facebook, Twitter. I've linked to my Patreon where you can support the channel, and Amazon coins, guys, another opportunity, a way for you to save some money here on your Marvel Strike Force or mobile in-game purchases. But let's dive into the first thing I want to talk about. I want to talk about the best things first for me. Now, of course, some of this is going to be somewhat subjective, right? But one of the things that I really enjoyed was this new download all assets button. Whoa, my Lord. There's so many times where after a new patch, you get into the game, you're trying to get into your raids, and you have to wait for this thing to load forever and a day, man. But with this here, if you jump into your settings, if you don't know already, if you jump into your settings and you scroll down to your advanced options, if you continue to scroll all the way down, there's this button that you can click on that says download all assets on Wi-Fi. What a life changer. It's like, I think it's like 600 megabytes or something like that. It's a pretty big file, but listen, it was a lifesaver for me, especially going through blitzes, going through these raids. I didn't do it on my phone, so I did it on my emulator, my BlueStacks emulator, but I didn't do it on my phone. And I was like, dude, why is it taking so long for me to get into a war matchup? But because I downloaded all the assets here on my emulator, I had no issues whatsoever. So for me personally, that is one of the biggest wins, or the first one that I wanted to talk about here when it comes to this 5.7 patch. Now, the next thing for me is Deathpool. it still feels some type of way. I still feel some type of way the fact that we had to wait until this patch before we were actually able to get Deathpool to work correctly. But boy, does she work pretty good. I was actually watching Rhexxi's stream yesterday, and her passive and her special ability work quite well. I actually have a little clip here. So I was actually watching Rem yesterday. A real quick clip that's going to show you some stuff here. I'm going to block Rhexxi's head. I'm sorry, Rem. I love you still. But just look at this right here. Dagger's going to go with her ultimate. Dagger's going to go with her ultimate ability here. And Dagger deletes, and then here comes Deathpool. 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna do it one more time just in case you didn't see it. One more time just in case you didn't see it. Dagger deletes, and then Deathpool comes back again and she deletes. So one of the biggest issues with Deathpool is that whenever she would kill a character, she wouldn't go and then do it again if there were previous characters that were already deleted, right? So Dagger deleted, what was it, 3 characters, and then Deathpool followed up with 3 attacks, killed 1, killed 2, and then did some damage to the 3rd character there. So definitely working very well. Like I said, feel some type of way that we had to wait before she actually worked correctly, but now she's actually working pretty good. I used her a little bit later on too as well. She is now actually transferring negative effects even when she kills the enemy, and she's also following up with her passive, attacking the most injured enemy with her whenever she kills an enemy as well. So Deathpool, definitely one of the biggest wins. Kind of bittersweet to a certain extent that we had to wait until this patch, but either way, the fact that she's working pretty good now, working good, is really, 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 really solid. Another win for me, our 3rd win I want to talk about here, are Sabertooth and Wolverine. I don't think that the developer video, so we remember with the envoys, myself included, we did our videos, we did some analysis here on the Weapon X team, and Wolverine and Sabertooth, the damage numbers that we were seeing, they just weren't very impressive at all, right? In the envoy videos. But of course, the developer videos that they're shared usually don't have Stark Tech when they're using them. So of course, there's going to be some reduced damage that you're going to be seeing on some of these characters. Let's just put it this way. It didn't do justice to them whatsoever. They are absolutely bangers when it comes to Marvel Strike Force right now. I pulled up the stat table from MSF.gg. And so MSF.gg has them at 7-7. This is a stat table for all the characters that are in the game. At 7-7, 85, gear tier 16, passive level 5, Stark Tech at 25. And in terms of damage numbers alone, both Sabertooth and Wolverine are neck and neck at both 12 and 13. 41,000 damage, 41,000 damage, both right there respectively. And the damage is one thing, right? But they're 2 characters that do piercing damage as well. So that piercing damage bypasses armor, which means that their attacks are even bigger than just your regular your damage output. It's bananas and it's insane. And some people have radar ISOs on both of them, which I think is probably going to be the best ISOs for both Sabertooth and Wolverine, just because of the rebound attack, because of the piercing damage, and the multi-target attacks. I really do think that they're going to be really, really good. Both of their ultimates. I went into a matchup with a gear tier 15 Sabertooth in War today. I went into that with War today, and he just deleted my Silver Surfer. So I think it was like 7 and 6 reds, gear tier 15. I have a blue ISO Silver Surfer at 5 and 5 or 6 and 5, and just deleted Silver Surfer because he crit with his ultimate ability. Dude, Sabertooth and Wolverine are going to slap cheeks. They are going to slap cheeks in War. They're going to be absolutely bananas. Wolverine's ultimate does 800% piercing damage. Bro, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. I do think the Raider ISOs are probably going to be the best ones on them. I'm thinking initially, we don't know yet. This is not solidified, but I do think Raider on Sabertooth, Raider or Wolverine are going to work. Potentially maybe Striker on Deathstrike, on Lady Deathstrike, and Striker on Omega Red, and Skirmisher on Silver Samurai. Those are my initial thoughts. Might change those moving forward, but because of the rebound chain on Sabertooth and the multi-target hits, I do think that probably works out a little bit better for both of them there. But pretty much what I'm saying is that Sabertooth and Wolverine are definitely as advertised. They're pretty damn good. I haven't used them in War yet. I'm still waiting to build them up. I got to get them to gear tier 14 on my roster for them to do any sort of war content. G14 characters or bust, pretty much basically is what it comes down to in Plot 2 Wars. So that I got to wait until then, but really I'm looking forward to being able to work on these 2 characters here. The last thing for me is going to be war changes, and this is a little bit subjective. Actually, I have a war tat. I have a war tat now. This is going to be a little subjective as well, because I don't think that this is a change that maybe everyone likes. I think that this is probably more geared towards maybe people who are probably a later game, who might appreciate this a little bit more, or players who take war a little bit more seriously. I personally like the new war changes, being able to go into a room and being able to see 4 teams that you can attack, not having to wait for somebody else to finish their attacks before you can then jump into an attack. You can already see what's available. You can see about 40% of the room already. You kind of know what you're going up against here. I personally like this quite a bit, and I know the expanded slots force you to now have more teams, and that is a little bit more challenging for players who are a little bit at the mid game level. But what I'm seeing is that there are some players who, hey, they weren't able to get in to put some extra 2 defensive teams. So you're seeing some shield teams there, which is going to happen. I think after time, things will start to even themselves out. But I do like that I feel like this is going to ultimately make wars go a little bit quicker for players who probably can't log in 4 or 5 times a day. This does give them the opportunity to be able to use up a lot more of their war energy. The cap going up to 10, I think, is a big deal for players who probably want to get maybe 8 attacks in instead of just doing regular 4. Maybe they want to spend some energy and get some extra attacks in. Then it works out for them as well. So I don't know. I think we're gonna have to sort of compile information over the next couple of days here and see exactly how this is working out for everybody else. I'm curious to hear how you guys are liking these new war changes. I personally like them. I definitely like the no attack symbol, right? You can still jump in and you can still click on attack and attack here, but at least it's that big symbol of don't attack. Don't attack is a pretty big deal, I think, for a lot of the captains and people who are officers for war. So that this actually makes it a big deal. So I understand that this is not a change for everyone, but I personally think this is a very good win because I like war, but this also makes war go a little bit quicker, and I can get more out of my day by logging in as opposed to having to wait until I get more war energy later on and then come back. Like it just makes things go a little bit quicker for me. And that's one of the things that I like about it. Now let's jump into the worst things that I think are available for patch 5.7. And the first thing for me, this is just more of a slight disappointment. I was really looking forward after reading over Silver Samurai's kit. I thought he was a really solid character, and I thought he was going to be really good on the Weapon X team. I think the trio, right, the top tier trio is definitely going to be having Lady Deathstrike, Silver Samurai, Omega Red, but as we talked about already, Wolverine and Sabertooth are definitely no slouches where that is concerned. But we got this message yesterday on Tuesday, September 28th. The dev team released the first look at the character model for Silver Samurai. Since then, we have heard some significant concerns with the symbol on Silver Samurai's chest, as it has historical associations with military subjugation in certain regions. We did not intend to endorse this message. So basically, they're saying that they're going to delay this again. I think it's going to probably most likely be sometime maybe next week that we're going to see Silver Samurai. I think a lot of us we're expecting that we're going to see Silver Samurai's event campaign probably start this Friday, but that's probably not going to be the case anymore. We're probably going to have to wait until next week. And there were no offers for Silver Samurai as well. Like I said, I was actually really looking forward to being able to grab Silver Samurai and open up and get some red stars for him. That was kind of one of the things that I wanted to do here. So a little disappointing. This is more sad, not worse. I guess it's not fair to put it on the worst things. It's just more one of those, man, I really wish that we were able to get Silver Samurai, in my opinion. But I think that what they're doing is good, that they're acknowledging it. I would have liked to have seen them do this a little bit more in the past. A lot of you already know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to label it out there, but I would have liked to have seen them done this with the past and something in the past, as opposed to, it's good that they're doing it now, but there were some other moments where they could have, gained our good grace where that is concerned. The next thing that I don't like, I understood that this was going to be something that was going to be introduced here, but it's Teal Gear. And the prices on Teal Gear are just, it's just insane. In the supply store right now, well, I don't have it pop up, but the prices on Teal Gear, which is like 240 for some of those, for the hero uniques, it's absurd, man. It's absolutely absurd. In the war store, it's like 1900 credits in order to be able to get the augmented hero unique for the characters. the prices are just really, really high. And for the areas where we are, we don't have a lot of gold in the game. Gold is a scarcity in the game, right? Because now we have level 85. You have to do Doom raids. You have to build out five different teams. That's 25 different characters that you have to, well, 23 different characters, because you have some characters that have dual tags. With 23 different characters that you have to build out and bring up to level 80, level 85. There's going to be Dark Dimension 5. The amount of gold that you have to spend on some of these pieces here, this augmented gear, it's just a bit too much. Same thing with the war currency too. I just think it's just a little bit too much for me, just the cost of it. And you still have to grab orange gear too, right? So I'm still in the position where I just have to grab miasma last night because I'm down to 10 pieces now. So I was down to 6, and this popped up for 280 for 4 pieces yesterday. 240k gold for 4 pieces. Dude, that's a lot of gold, right? So it just creates this massive imbalance. There's too many things that you have to buy, and they're doing this on purpose, but I feel like they're squeezing us a little bit too much here. It's almost negating the extra 8 million gold that they were giving us per month, right? It's essentially just negating that. When they decided to do that, I gave the definition of them giving you 8 million gold and then increasing the level cap and then introducing new gear tier. All that's really for me, the analogy that I gave is basically telling your kid that you're gonna get an allowance now, but also you're gonna have to also start paying car insurance, your own car insurance. Like, it's really kind of like it kind of negates what you're giving them, what you're actually giving in the game. And that's kind of just how I feel essentially right now with gold, with the introduction of this new augmented gear. There's an offer in the store right now that's just, it's absurd. $49.99 for 100 of these pieces. And if you look at MSF.gg, right, if you look at MSF.gg, let's pull up a character. Let's say Shang-Chi. If we wanted to bring Shang-Chi up to gear tier 16, you need 400 of those pieces in order to be able to do that. So essentially you would have to spend what, $200 just to be able to bring a character up to gear tier 16. It's just, that's an offer. This is more of a Kraken thing, whale thing, but you get the point, right? It's just really, really, really expensive in my opinion. So I personally don't, I think it's just too much. The currency is too much. There's too many other things that you have to buy in the store. Character shards, orange gear still, orange hero uniques. I still think that they should have definitely opened up and put some more gear tier 14s or gear tier 15s into some of these raid orbs. Some of these orange raid orbs or orange elite orbs, just doing it that way so that players could get some more. Maybe they're planning on doing that in the future, but that's not what they've done so far. So I don't like the pricing on that. As far as I'm concerned, I know Teal Gear availability would change over time, but it's just not where it is right now. Another thing that I thought was pretty interesting to talk about here is the costumes. So we got some new costumes yesterday, guys, and I don't like a lot of them. I'm not a big fan of a lot of them here. This one in particular just gave me the chuckles. This one right here, Pharaoh Venom, ancient Pharaoh Venom. I was reading the story. I'm like, inspired by Egyptian world forever. Yesterday, Venom has accepted the power of the costume, morphing his symbiote enhanced body. I'm like, dude, whatever. And then I saw first appearance, Marvel Strike Force 2021. I was like, you gotta stop it. You gotta stop this. We're making stuff up now. We're making stuff up now. So we just decided to go with Pharaoh Venom, huh? Kraken Venom. Is that what we decided to do? With Pharaoh. Somebody made a comment last night saying that he's the first of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. the first character of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. That's what this guy is right now. Oh man, I don't know what they were thinking with this one. Somebody must have just had a little bit too much of a bong hit there. I don't know what they were doing. It's way too funny. It's to the point where it's so bad that I like it. That's where it's at. It's so bad that I ultimately think that I like it a little bit. The Wolverine one too is okay. I've never been a big fan of the comics with this. I've never been a big fan of them. Whenever I see this in the movies, I'm usually never excited about it. I don't like it. Somebody said that he has a radio crotch. Radio crotch, Pokemon Go for life. Or somebody said that he has a Sony Walkman. Oh, good God. The jokes that we were having last night, man, for this costume. But speaking of Weapon X, there's also this Experiment X event, too, that is just bananas, man. This one right here is... So this is really sad. So there's a lot of milestones that you have to go through to get this. In total, there are 32 milestones, and these milestones are daily. As you can see, it's 9 hours. But we did the calculations on this. Run the calculations last night. I'm actually going to pull this up from something that was shared in the Discords here, but somebody did some calculations on this really quickly. So you need 50K credits for the costume. So that's 3,600 a day for 14 days, which is the daily, right? So 3,600 would equate to 50 core refreshes, your 50 core refreshes and your 100 core refreshes, which would give you 3,600 a day. You need 42 event points on a day-by-day basis in order for you to actually get the costume over the 14-day period. So which means that you would essentially have to spend 1,200 cores per day. I think somebody said 800 cores per day, but here calculated about 1,200 cores per day just to unlock the Wolverine costume. And it's not even that great. Now, listen, I don't want to yuck anybody's yum. If you like the costume, that's fine. But overall, for me, man, I just feel like this is worse than the Lunar event. The Lunar Festival event, it's worse than it. And the only reason why I feel as if though they decided to go this hard on this event for you to just get the costume bits is because they had this augmented gear in here. The augmented Teal Gear is probably the only reason why they decided to go this steep on this event. But overall, I don't like it. I think this was a trash move by them. To go this direction. You shouldn't have to work this hard. It should have allowed you to get all the credits that you need for the costume a lot earlier than this. They should have brought the milestones down to like once you hit milestone 15 or something like that you're gonna get enough of the credits that you need in order to be able to unlock the costume, at least just the costume, and then the extra, if you wanted to spend extra cores or whatever to get the rest of the stuff, then sure, that would be great. But the way that they did this was just absolutely abysmal and atrocious, and it just shows their greed again, and that's really kind of the frustrating part. Some whales won't even be able to complete this event just to get to 4,200 points. Some whales may not be able to complete because you have to spend campaign energy, ISO campaign energy, and then power cores. Some whales are not going to be able to do this. This is Kraken territory right here when it comes to Marvel Strike Force. But this is kind of just my thoughts, guys, on the best and the worst from patch 5.7. We have some honorable mentions that I wanted to talk about, which was, so in terms of on the route of costumes, I actually do like the Cyclops costume quite a bit. We saw this a little bit earlier on. I actually do like the Cyclops costume just a little bit here. It looks kind of sleek, kind of cool. This is not more of one of those recent costumes too, right? Because I don't remember seeing first appearance House of X. Yeah, so this is one of those newer looks for Cyclops. I actually do like this look quite a bit here. And then I guess I want to finish it off with something bad, but the change that they made to the background of the gear, not a big fan of that either, guys. But listen, want to know, guys, what were your thoughts? What do you think were the best and the worst of the 5.7 patch? I have my thoughts already. There's some good ones, there's some bad ones. The costume for Venom is just absolutely hysterical, bro. It's just freaking great. Listen, appreciate you guys watching the video. Leave it in the comments. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, guys. Share the video. And until next time, guys, y'all be blessed and y'all be safe. Pharaoh Venom. Venom as a part of the one of the four horsemen of the apocalypse. You know what? It might work. He does have a long tongue. It might actually work out in his favor when you think about it.